Hello, future editors. My name is Steve Miller, and I want to thank Ashley for inviting me to be a participant in the class. Um, Frankly, I wish that you were in front of me or vice versa, because I know there's a lot of questions that I'd have for you, and of course, I'd be hoping that you'd have a lot of questions for me too. When Ashley asked me to participate, I thought initially, what in the world am I going to talk about? How am I going to squeeze down 40 years into a couple of short videos? But fortunately, Ashley provided a blueprint. I think you have my bio. I'm not going to bore you with that. Um, I have split this into three short videos. This first one, unfortunately, is going to be a mishmash of some things. There's one slide that's going to be talking about be careful what you type that you don't mean to include in copy. There's some things that are going into the references that we use. We just don't format or edit one style. We have multiple styles. There's going to be into some things that drive me just a little crazy. I don't know, bots, algorithms. I don't know, but when I see a headline that doesn't match what the story really means, it just irks me. And I am going to willingly admit that when I do this, I can't get away from my 24 years in the newsroom. Although I do not do that now. And in the third video, we'll get into the editing in academia. So the first video, just a mishmash of some things. Second video is going to be my newsroom experience. Third video is going to be life in academia here at the University of Wyoming. And again, sure wish I could toss some questions at you folks. But before we get into the mishmash of the other items on this presentation, I wanted to look at this slide and wow, I'm really not that blue. That's just the way it's coming across on my camera on my PC. Seth is a world-class marketer. That's his website. He has a blog that he puts out. And I put this up here, I guess, more in how we look at each other. And I think that's reflected in how we eventually edit or we write phrases or edit phrases about how other people are described. Anyway, this is recording. Now you can stop at any time and read through this. But I also wanted to say that somewhere in the past 15, 20 years, I changed on how I view what I do and how I come to work. I worked in 5 different states, and I brought to bear the talents that I had on a product. And somewhere, I think it's probably 10 years ago, I started to look at what I can do to serve other people. And what I mean by that is if a professor or a other faculty member or administrator comes to me and wants help with how to phrase something or to edit their work, I'll look at that as providing a service to them, how I can put them in the best light possible, how their work can be put in the best light possible, which also reflects on them. That was a profound change, and maybe that it only come with age. I don't know. Maybe I'm just that dense, and it took me that long for it to soak in. Anyway, I like that frame much better when I come to work and when I work with people than I did when I was just starting out.
This is a cautionary tale. I just wanted to put this in just because it occurred to me when I was putting this together that these types of things can come back and bite you. They're kind of humorous as long as you're not the person that did it. But don't put anything in your copy that shouldn't be there. It may seem humorous at the time, but if you don't remember to remove it, or your friend who normally would have caught it missed work that day, it can come back and haunt you. This particular one is from UWIT email a couple of years ago that I saved. And after I saved it, I went to look for it again on the internet. It had been removed. Now, some people scale mountaintops. Some people consume much hallucinogenic drugs to find the meaning of life. But all I had to do was spend 42 minutes at IT on December 12th. And I could have punched done, and I missed it. And my search continues. Just be careful. One more cautionary tale. This happened at a newspaper in Montana. They were running wedding announcements. And I think the bride had like 10 bridesmaids, and the groom had like 5, 6, 7 groomsmen. Of course, they had their names and a comma after each. And the editor at that time, in bold, had put, damn, comma. That's a lot of commas exclamation mark. Well, it was published that way. I don't know your exposure to the different formatting, different formats, but I'm just going to go quickly through some of the various styles that we have to edit for here. But I wanted to say that there was someone who joined our office a few years ago who said that she was embarrassed by the editing. Of course, she didn't say that during the interview process, but she did afterwards. And that if she were to take a particular piece and have it up on the screen for use as an example at a conference, she would have been laughed at. Well, of course, that caught my attention because our magazines, various magazines we produce, consistently win gold awards, first place awards in competitions around the country. But it gradually dawned on me that the person had not yet realized there's not one and only one editing style, and that the communication vehicle in which the item will appear determines the editing filter. And so our office uses the Associated Press, the Chicago Manual of Style, APA, our own style guide developed over 70 years, and the official UW style guide that's up on this slide. And depending upon the publication, we use their preferred editing formats, such as here. Formatting here can be automatic. This is the Purdue OWL website, the Purdue Online Writing Lab. It's a pretty good site. And I just wanted to point out just one more thing on references and so on. This site is, I believe, wonderful. It's refdesk.com. There are links to many points of information. Try it. I think you'll like it, and it's free. Now I want to briefly get into some things that annoy me, and I realize that we are now in the world of algorithms, bots. I mean, things come into news feeds all kinds of ways, but I just want to look at this example. I saw this come into my feed and I thought, wow, that's incredible. Finally, people have been looking for ET since they've been able to, looking up at the stars. Rover has found evidence of ancient life on Mars. So I clicked and look what it came up with. Rover has found evidence of ancient life on Mars. Again, how cool is that? Of course, the subhead there, the subtext should have, pointed out to me pretty quickly that, not so fast. And so I look, there's a lot of claims, could be, and there's even a could be in the second paragraph. To me, that's just, bait and click. And I think we're better than that. It just really perturbs me, because aren't we supposed to portray things as accurately as possible, whether we're in the newspaper or otherwise? This just aggravates me. And this is one where you have certainly mixed signals. On the top headline, you have the stock market diving, 600-point loss. Immediately right below it, from yesterday, here's a mixing of oil and water, where stocks are boosted by Super Tuesday results. But if you're just scanning headlines and you saw the top one and you saw the bottom, you think, what in the world is going on? Again, mixed messages. And this is the last one in this series of things that just drive me nuts. I want you to take a look at the where the arrows point. I know you have to get through this for the class, but just kind of read about these two studies, one of 17,000, another one of over 1 million. They came to the same conclusion. The status of a person's job was more able to predict their likelihood of a heart attack than obesity, smoking, or high blood pressure. Think of all the studies that come out, and the universities and others receive a lot of money trying to cure heart disease. But look at that. The status of a person's job is more able to predict their likelihood of a heart attack than obesity, smoking, or high blood pressure. And down below, by the other exclamation mark, your heart is at the mercy of your pay grade. Isn't that just astounding? That just blows me away. You'll read every few months about a study that refutes a previous study, that refutes a previous study. Butter good, butter bad, eggs good, eggs bad, red meat good, red meat bad, bacon good, bacon is always good. But sometimes people don't talk about the fundamental facts, or they're forgotten, and they're proven. But this one blew me away. And climate change, I wouldn't touch climate change with a 50-foot pole.